going to. Okay, the New Jersey Apprenticeship Network, NJ Build Women and Minorities in Construction Trades Program. Give me a moment because my screen is okay. So our mission for the New Jersey Apprenticeship Network, building the New Jersey Apprenticeship Network. The Office of Apprenticeship works closely with USDOL and serves as a one-stop shop for employers, nonprofits, secondary and post-secondary institutions interested in developing apprenticeship opportunities, support new and expand on existing pre-apprenticeship and USDOL registered apprenticeship programs in New Jersey, establishes pre-apprenticeship and apprenticeship programs in non-traditional high-growth occupations and sectors, expands the New Jersey Apprenticeship Network to facilitate interactions between industry, educational institutions, training providers, and job seekers. We better align secondary, post-secondary, adult education, and occupational training to meet labor demands unique to New Jersey and develop career pathways that lead to economically sustainable wages. We help apprentices earn college credits, access robust career counseling, and increase diversity and inclusion in apprenticeship programs. We remove economic barriers to training and upskilling through targeted investments. So the New Jersey Apprenticeship Network, NJAN. The vision of NJAN is to develop sustainable talent pipelines by aligning pre-apprenticeship and apprenticeship programs with needs of employers, training providers, and job seekers. The NJAN is focused on driving economic development through skills and educational attainment, concentrating efforts on sector-focused, demand-driven training and education programs that lead to better paying careers, advanced credentials, and skills attainment, and developing an ecosystem that provides multiple years of economic support to businesses and individuals for occupational skills training, leading to sustainable wages and upward mobility for workers and increasing talent pipelines for employers. What is a registered apprenticeship? A registered apprenticeship program is approved by USDOL and is an industry-driven structured training program that allows an apprentice to earn while they learn. A minimum of 144 hours of related technical instruction, classroom training, and 2,000 hours of on-the-job OJT learning are required for each year of the occupation. The complexity will dictate the length of the registered apprenticeship program, ranging from 1 to 5 years. It's a paid job. Earn as you learn with a guaranteed wage increase as you develop new skills. Credentials. Receive an industry-recognized and nationally portable credential. Education. Gain workplace-relevant skills in the field of your choice through on-the-job learning. Degree potential. Get academic credit towards a college degree for the skills you learn while avoiding student debt. Mentorship. Connect with mentors in your chosen industry who can help you advance in your career. New Jersey Apprenticeship by the numbers. Current figures. There are currently 8,611 active apprentices in the state. 1,289 total registered programs in the state. And since Governor Murphy took office on January 16, 2018, New Jersey has registered 678 new registered apprenticeship programs, which is over a 100% statewide increase. We've hired 17,454 new apprentices. We've issued 8,876 new industry-recognized certificates of completion. And according to the data from the last quarter for 2017, total apprentices increased by approximately 1,828, which is up from 6,783 apprentices. This is the highest level in New Jersey since 2013. Note this is a statewide moving average that includes entrances and exits. This growth trend accounts for a 27% increase net statewide in active registered apprentices. What is New Jersey Builders Utilization Initiative for Labor Diversity, NJ Build? Funding for NJ Build is provided through the Annual Appropriations Act and PL 2009, Chapter 335. NJ Build is designed to provide training opportunities for minority and women in construction trades and construction-related trades so that minorities and women can realize equal employment opportunity in public contracting. All state agencies are required to pay 1/2 of 1% of the total cost of construction contracts that are equal to or greater than $1 million to the NJ Build Fund immediately upon award of the contract. Please note, I'm just going to just have to stop the slide for a moment. Just give me a moment. Okay. Appreciate everyone's patience. Okay. Okay. Program overview. The Women and Minorities in Construction Trades program seeks to eliminate economic barriers commonly associated with an individual's inability to invest in skills training and work readiness, and connects women and/or minority populations to quality career and training opportunities in the building and construction industry. NJ Build aims to strengthen access to employment and training for women and minorities in the construction trades. The mission of Women and Minority Construction Trades program. The mission is to promote outreach, occupational skills training, which is included but not limited to pre-apprenticeship training in the construction trades, registered apprenticeship, and on-the-job training for female and minority residents of New Jersey to prepare them for an entry into a registered apprenticeship or in long-term employment, providing economic self-sufficiency in a construction-related job. Primary goals and objectives. Increases opportunities for women and minorities to acquire skills, increase employment opportunities, and benefit economically from construction infrastructure projects within New Jersey. Assist public works contractors, businesses, and trade unions in meeting their workforce needs through recruiting and training of women and minority populations. Engages contractors in the development and provision of construction-related training. Provides workforce readiness and occupation-specific construction-related trades training. Ensures participants earn a minimum of one industry-valued credential. Assists participants with job placement and in construction-related jobs or registered apprenticeship programs with a pay rate of no less than $16 per hour. Expectations. To prepare women and minorities for placements in registered apprenticeship programs or long-term employment within the building and construction trades or in other roles in the construction industry while providing quality support services to ensure their successful integration into the workforce. Funding must be used to provide training in the construction and building trades industry, including lead abatement occupations. Occupations within the construction and building trades industry, craft, administrative support, or operational occupations are acceptable. This includes professional titles as well as skilled trades. Green energy economy. New Jersey DOL is committed to investing in the clean energy economy construction jobs. It is not mandatory that applicants concentrate on these occupations, but NJDOL encourages applications that focus on the following construction-related occupations: green jobs, clean buildings decarbonization, offshore wind, energy efficiency, environmental infrastructure, grid infrastructure and storage, solar, weatherization occupations, and lead abatement. Lead-based plant and lead-contaminated water line hazards burden New Jersey homes, schools, and places of business, causing sickness and poisoning across the country. In support of the need to remediate thousands of New Jersey lead-burdened homes, apartments, and places of business, we're encouraging a concentration on training and placement into the lead abatement industry with our FY25 Women and Minorities in Construction Grant Program. Women and Minorities in Construction pre-apprenticeship or pre-employment training. Training will be conducted to prepare women and minorities for entry into the construction industry. Training can include workforce readiness, occupational training, and job shadowing. In terms of outcomes, option 1, a minimum of 75% of participants completing the pre-apprenticeship training enter a USDOL registered apprenticeship program. Option 2, a minimum of 75% of participants completing the pre-apprenticeship training enter USDOL registered apprenticeship, and or a minimum of 75% of participants completing the pre-employment training enter into other construction-related employment. Option 3, this is no pre-apprenticeship or pre-employment training provided. The employer applies for the grant to hire and train new hires or new apprentices on the job. So elements of the pre-apprenticeship training, option 1 or option 2. Approved training and curriculum, strategies for long-term success, access to appropriate support services, including a one-stop connection, promotes greater use of registered apprenticeship, includes meaningful hands-on training that does not displace paid employees, facilitated entry and/or articulation into an approved registered apprenticeship program. Please note that applicants must have an established connection to at least one registered apprenticeship program or sponsor. Pre-employment training, option 2. This is industry-driven training and curriculum, provides job coaching and employment preparation, access to appropriate support services, including a one-stop connection, occupation-specific construction-related training, hands-on training that simulates on-the-job circumstances and situations, quality job placement and retention services post-placement. Note that a strong application will have quality support and commitment letters from employers stating a specified number of participants they intend to hire from the program post-training. On-the-job training, option 3. This is employer-driven to meet the needs of their business. Funding can be used to provide on-the-job training at a minimum of $16 per hour. Funding can be used to provide a 50% wage reimbursement to the employer, Reimbursement of salary with proof of payment is required monthly. The maximum cost per participant is $15,000. Commitment of retention of employee would be required post-funding, and this must not duplicate existing employees. A strong application will provide a detailed description of on-the-job training to be provided over the timeline and a detailed assurance of retention of participants and that the program will not displace existing employees. Deliverables. The following objectives have been established to achieve the goals of increasing opportunities for the employment of women and minorities in construction industry and to address the building and construction industry's need for better prepared apprenticeships and employees. Number 1, to recruit participants through active marketing, recruitment, and outreach strategies. 2, to provide pre-employment or pre-apprenticeship training to prepare eligible participants for jobs within the construction industry. 3, to provide job coaching and employment preparation to women and minority individuals. 4, to assist with services targeting placement in a USDOL registered apprenticeship program or long-term employment in the construction industry, paying no less than $16 per hour. And 5, to obtain sustainable employment in any building and construction trades occupation or any ancillary occupations in the building and construction trades. Program outcomes. These are to ensure participants complete all components of the program in which they are enrolled. Graduate a minimum of 75% of program participants from the training program. Place a minimum of 75% of program participants into either a USDOL registered apprenticeship program or into employment within the construction industry with a starting wage of at least $16 per hour. Conduct follow-up for job retention post-placement. Ensure participants earn at least one industry recognized credential, and assist participants with acquiring documents such as a driver's license, state ID, birth certificate, etc. Case management, supportive services, and job coaching. Applicants are required to provide the following services: assessment of program participants to determine if additional support services are needed, ongoing case management services during the training program and after job placement. Each participant must obtain at least one industry recognized credential and job coaching and placement services linking participants to USDOL approved registered apprenticeship programs and/or employment in the construction industry. Grantees can include needs-based stipends in their budgets to enable participation. Stipend payments can be paid to the participants on a biweekly basis and cannot exceed $250 per week. Funding and contract information. Funding for the FY25 Round 1 is expected to be $2 million and is contingent upon availability of funds. Organizations awarded FY24 Women and Minorities in Construction Trade grants are not eligible to apply for FY25 Round 1 funding. The Round 1 application is open to those eligible organizations not funded in fiscal year 24, as well as new applicants. The contract length will be 18 months. Competitive proposals will have a cost per participant maximum of $15,000. Funding grant announcement shall be used to support training in the construction and building trades. Any construction craft, administrative, support, and operational occupations are acceptable. This includes professional titles as well as skilled trades. Awarded applicants will have administrative responsibilities, including but not limited to archiving records, completing monthly reports, and attending required meetings. I think Melinda is going to take on the next section. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
All right, so we'll move over now to discussing the application process. Proposal components, required documents. All required information must be submitted in the IGX system. Applicant information, counties to serve, previous funding, consortium partners and commitment letters, deliverables, activity plan, statement of need, organizational commitment and capacity, training curriculum and schedule, program sustainability plan, tax clearance certificate, prior performance narrative, and budget summary and details. First steps. If you are considering applying, ensure you are an eligible entity to apply. Pages 7 through 8. When we're referring to pages on this specific slide, we're speaking about pages in the NGO. So please reference those if one of these sections is of interest. Authorized official, or AO, registers in IGX, which is on page 11 of the NGO. The AO submits a letter of intent via email, pages 11 and 21 of the NGO. NJDOL approves AO in IGX and provides access to application. Obtain tax clearance certificate from New Jersey Division of Taxation, pages 15 and 22 of the NGO, and register with New Jersey Department of Treasury via NJ Start System, which is page 22 of the NGO. The LOI, or letter of intent, template can be found on page 21, attachment 1 of the NGO. And there is
Okay.
one section, I'm sorry, go ahead, Jessica.
Yeah, I was just gonna note that I can zoom in on this, the unique entity identification. If you have this number, you can enter it. If you do not have this number for the LOI, you may enter not applicable or NA at this time, because at this time, this is a state funded contract, so it is no longer required at this time.
In-depth look, proposal. Activity plan, proposal to include max of 15 pages. So the activity plan should include specific objectives and training plan, timeline from recruitment to job placement or enrollment in a registered apprenticeship program, detailed outreach and recruitment plans, post-placement follow-up, comprehensive program plan is strongly encouraged. The statement of need, which can be a maximum of 5 pages, should address specific construction needs in the region, demonstrate a need for placement and services for women and minority population, and should also include projected number of apprenticeship opportunities if applicable. The organizational commitment and capacity should be a maximum of 5 pages. We'll describe the commitment to addressing the needs identified, provide the organization support for implementing the project, and provide experience that will lead to the success of the project. Program sustainability plan, maximum of 5 pages, will describe strategy for long-term success in the absence of grant funding. The training curriculum and schedule. Curriculum outlining training components, including associated hours for completion of each component, should be based on industry standards with the goal of preparing participants to enter a registered apprenticeship or job paying minimally $16 per hour. Must be focused on basic skills instruction, workforce readiness instruction, and occupation-specific construction trades training, as well as provide recruitment strategies. This should also include an attendance policy. prior performance narrative, which will be a maximum of 10 pages, only required if received prior state funding for a similar program, and will describe prior performance, including outcomes, effectiveness, and success in meeting goals and objectives of the grant. Evaluation criteria. All applications are considered new applications and will be evaluated based on quality, comprehensiveness, completeness, accuracy, and appropriateness to the NGO. This is a competitive process, and applications are reviewed by a selection committee using a pre-established set of requirements. IGX registration. Note, for previous Sage users, your username and password previously used in Sage will be valid in IGX. You may be prompted to update your password the first time you log in. Under Please enter the program applying for, enter Women and Minorities in Construction. If you are a new user, you would visit the hyperlink listed above, which is the njdol.intelligrants.com, and you would click New User to begin the registration process. When you have filled out those required fields and you're finished, you would click Register to submit. IGX Overview. Once your registration is approved, begin logging in at the hyperlink following. Under the My Opportunities box, click Filter to open the options for searching. For Provider, select New Jersey Department of Labor and Workforce Development from the drop-down menu. Under Name, type Women, then click the Search button. The Women and Minorities in Construction grant application will appear under My Opportunities. Click the hyperlink to start the application. Review the grant program description and agreement language. To proceed with the application, select Agree. Application pages and navigation. After selecting Agree, you will be brought to a landing page for your grant application. All of the pages that need to be completed will be listed on the left-hand side of the page under Application. As you go through the application, you have the ability to navigate to different pages of the application by clicking the desired page on the left menu. Submit the application. Only the authorized official or agency administrator can submit a completed application. When you are ready to submit your application, use the navigation panel on the left side of the page to find the section labeled Status Options. Select Application Submitted to begin the submission process. If a document validation page appears, this means there are errors that need to be corrected before the application can be submitted. Revisit the pages with errors and make the necessary revisions. Then try the submission process again. After selecting Application Submitted, a box will appear asking you to confirm that you would like to submit the application. Click OK to finish the submission. Click Cancel to exit. Important dates. Submission of letter of intent and registration in IGX must be completed before you can start your application in IGX. So the letter of intent is due by noon on November 1st, 2024. The application is due by noon on November 8th, 2024. Final decisions on awards will be communicated to the applicant no later than 45 days following the panel review. NJ Build contact information. We have Jessica Richardson, the Chief of NJ Build and Special Initiatives Unit. Her email and phone number are listed, as well as myself, Melinda Benson, who is the coordinator. And if there are any general inquiries, if you email njbuildprograms@dol.nj.gov, that will send it to our general email box where you will be assisted by either Jessica or myself. Okay, so we have finished the PowerPoint presentation at this time. And if anyone has any questions, you can feel free to type that into the chat box section of Teams, or you can raise your hand and we can call on you to assist you with any questions that you may have.
Okay, so I'm not seeing any questions so far. See. Okay, so there is a question about, so the applicants can be existing employees already working. So there are the three different models. So there is a model there are two models related to pre-apprenticeship and pre-employment training. But the third model is for OJT, which would be on-the-job training for uh, hired employees. And do they need to participate in an apprenticeship program? Um, it is one of the goals for participants who complete the training to either enter into a USDOL registered apprenticeship or into other employment, making $16 an hour or more. So while it is one of the goals, it is not the only goal of the program. Um, even an apprenticeship results in employment. So that is one of the outcomes. Not sure if that answers the question or if you want to discuss it more. Okay. Right. Does anyone else have any questions? I have a question for as to why we're in together mode on the screen. At least I see myself and Melinda in a movie theater setting or conference room. But okay, well, if there aren't any other questions, I appreciate everyone's time today. And certainly, we will be following up with everyone that's registered for this technical assistance workshop. You will be receiving an email that will include a copy of this webinar, the PowerPoint presentation, and a list of frequently asked questions. I do see a couple more questions coming in though, so hang on a second. There's a question about a schedule of does a schedule of projects need to be provided along with the application? There are very specific asks for what is included in the application. There is a request for the provision of the training curriculum. So what I would recommend doing is just reviewing those sections of the NGO, which discusses what needs to be included with the application. So in terms of projects versus training, it's more the related technical instruction and hands-on training portion um, of the schedule that you'd be providing. And yes, you can partner up with other organizations. That was another question that came through. That is encouraged. You would need to identify a lead applicant who would take on the role of interfacing with IGX and putting all of the information into IGX and being responsible for the billing and activity reporting. And there's another question coming through. And certainly if anyone wants to, raise your hand and ask questions, we can unmute your mic so that you can ask the question to the group. Okay, so all right, so Eric, I see you have a question about whether the consortium letter needs to be for each applicant or the same letter used for all applicants. Generally, each participant would include a letter identifying the organization. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, Melinda. The question about a consortium letter for each applicant. No.
Well, I'm not sure if the question is same letter can be used for each applicant. Would be that you're using like a sort of template letter that would be going out to your quality partners. We have seen that done before in the past. I would recommend having each potential partner write a letter because one of the specifics that should be addressed in your letters of support from your consortium partners would be how it is that they are partnering with you, whether they are involved with the placement process, if there's a commitment to hire a certain number of individuals that complete the training program.
All right, and Jay Good has asked for employment if your participant secures a job at construction but was enrolled in a clean energy program, would that count as a placement or does it have to be specifically aligned to the program? The outcomes are employment in the construction industry or construction and building trades. It is, preferred that the placement is, aligned with your training program. But as far as an employment outcome, if it's within the construction industry and it's the $16 an hour or more, it would fall under as a placement outcome. And then there's a question from Eric about would they all be working on the same work for the same client? Um, I mean, they could be, but it's not required. It depends on the type of training program that you're putting together, the organizations that you're working with. I think we've seen both. We've seen, training participants that are all involved in particular projects or in individual projects that um, may be statewide, it may be in a certain area. Not sure if that answers the question. Okay. Okay, I think we answered everything that's come through so far. If we missed anything, if anyone wants to raise your hand or ask us to, we can unmute your microphone if you want to ask a question. Can the projects be out of state? This is a New Jersey-based program. It is intended for residents of New Jersey. But there is an understanding that there are projects that take place in, the region. So again, that's something that can be taken into consideration, but it does have to be for New Jersey residents. Training provided to New Jersey residents. Okay, I'm just scrolling up to make sure I didn't miss anyone. Does anyone have any additional questions? Okay. All right, if not, I said, could wait for within the next 24 to 48 hours, you will receive an email with all of the information, the webinar, the frequently asked questions, USDOL contacts, a user guide on how to enter your application in IGX, and we do have some specific information about the budget portion of the grant application in there. So some good information to follow when you're entering your application in IGX. Please note that the LOIs are due by November 1st and the application is due by November 8th. And you do need to have that information in and entered by those deadlines. And certainly you can reach out to either of us. You can reach out to NJ Build Programs at dol.nj.gov for questions. And I really thank everyone for your time. And with that, we're going to end this presentation. Thank you so much.